casting? How do you approach casting? What qualities are you looking for in the actors when you do cast them and things like that, in order to get them the right
Well,
authenticity that you need for your films?
how do I approach casting? Well, sometimes like, when I'm writing a story, like
Mm,
I know I have a lot of friends that are actors,
right.
and so but when I'm writing a story, I can kind of envision a certain person playing those roles, and so and I don't reach out to them until I'm finished with the script. But
Yeah.
oh, excuse me, it's early.
No, I got you. I got you. I got
Okay, so like when I finish when I finish writing the script
you. Mm-hmm.
and I made sure that the story is good and I flesh it out and make sure I read through it and
Right.
stuff. And I'll be like, all right, cool. Then I'll reach out to my friends that, I feel like can play this role. Cause, so like Tristan, Antoine, I knew he would be able to play that role when I put it together.
Right.
And I was like, okay, all right, yeah, Antoine would be able to do this justice. I know he would be able to
Yeah.
do this. And Nicole, who played the other character, Monique, and I knew that she would be able to do a killer job as well. No pun intended. But
Spoilers. No.
you know, so go watch Tristan. You'll see.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
um, but yeah, and so like when I did that, and I was like, all right, and so I sent the script out to him. I messaged him first, and I was like,
Okay.
hey, I have this script, and I think you guys you'll be good for it. Would you be interested? And I was like,
Okay.
the script is attached below. Let me know what you think.
All right.
So
So,
that
so you
and they
got the
take a
cheat code.
read, and they yeah,
You got a
and
cheat
they were
code.
like,
You already know a lot of good actors, so
you're right.
casting ain't, you don't have to have a casting call too much. You're like,
No, not
I
too
mean,
much.
okay.
Not too much.
All right.
So
Have you
yeah,
ever had a casting call with like, in,
I would say that not with these projects here,
okay,
but
okay.
I have something else that I might have to have.
Okay.
I might
Do
have to have a
that. You think you'll find it difficult to cast? Like, because the casting process for me is I don't want to say it's fun because it has its ups and downs and sometimes you miss
hmm
and you gotta redirect and you gotta I mean I don't want to I mean yeah you gotta like recast you gotta just sometimes it gets difficult and telling people no
Right,
ain't like that ain't what makes my day happy telling people nah you ain't
right.
get the part something like that but it gotta go
Yeah,
down
yeah,
but
yeah.
have you had to tell people no and or ever fire anybody
Um, I've
without
had
saying names.
to, let's see. I'm trying to think like,
I mean, they have
hmm,
had
I've had, when I did my first web series, which was Siblings.
yeah.
I did a casting call for that.
Oh, okay, okay.
And for that one, I yeah, it was very interesting and entertaining.
Casting.
You get casting. You get to meet different artists. You also get to see different people's interpretation of the character that you've written.
Right, right,
You
right,
know,
right.
and it's like something that you didn't even think about think of.
That's
Or
happened. It could make it better,
you
right?
know sometimes it'll make it better and sometimes you'll be
Yeah.
like did did you read this did you read this
I
slides
mean, like,
like,
yo, some
like,
people they be having a lot of casting calls because actors they be hustling. Sometimes they have
yeah,
a lot of casting calls that day, and I'm like, this ain't the comedy one, sir. We need to
right,
go ahead and get into your drama bag real quick.
right,
I'm like,
right,
yeah, when you
you
cuss that
know
little boy, you ain't supposed to be juggling or whatever. Like I don't know, but I feel you though. I said, did you read? Did you read this?
like did you read it? And then some of them would be like way over the top, and you'd be like, okay. I'm like, all right, let's bring this down
Yeah, yeah,
to like
yeah.
a 5 because right now you're at a you're at a 20. You ain't even at a 10. You're at a 20 right now. It was
Yeah.
like, let's bring this down here.
And then in your director bag, and in your director's bag, have you ever had, or is there any moments where you had to deal with maybe a difficult castmate? I like to ask this just for like for people that are aspiring to be directors and
Yeah.
things like that, and like how did you resolve it? Because I mean, you don't take me as I've known you for years now. You don't take me as the guy that's in there like yelling back at people or yelling at somebody and cussing and screaming and throwing up a foot. You mean that type of thing, like making a scene type stuff with ego.
Yeah.
And so I'm just
Yeah.
curious, like for any aspiring
Um,
directors coming up, like if they have difficulties on cast, I see it a lot
yeah.
in student films and
So,
stuff like that.
oh my goodness, man.
You have to say names if you could like brief around it, or you know,
I
just
would say
how would
that
you?
like I did have a couple. I had a couple on two projects. I had a situation. One of them, I was just so far into production that I was pretty much almost tied down to that actor,
Right.
and I couldn't do anything. So it was like crap. It's like all right. Now it is what it is. But it was also a learning tool too for next time.
Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So, and I was like, okay. Second time, I I was like I reacted a little bit quicker, and I talked to that talent and
Mm.
you know, tried to like reason with them and try to see like how can we get on the same page here, but
Yeah. Yeah.
it just wasn't happening.
Mm.
And so it was like I was like, okay. So that I had to we finished production that day, and I had to go home, and
Mm.
um I had to really make a hard decision because I'm also an actor too.
Yeah. Yeah.
One thing is you just don't want to like take a job away from
Yeah. Yeah.
a talent, and it's like now you put me in this situation like, okay, great, now I have to I have to do this now because
Yeah. Yeah.
is there's no way around that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. If it's
So,
if the project is suffering, which
right,
it ain't like
right.
I said, it ain't fun. It ain't
No,
it
it
takes
really
on.
isn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, and with that, it was like, all right, I had to send an email. I made a call
Mm.
to the talent and let them know. It's like, all right, this is what we're gonna have to do going forward. And
Yeah.
then after that, then I sent the email out to that talent just
Mm.
for documentation.
Right, right. Receipts.
And
Receipts.
yeah, yep. And so after that, I had reached out to another talent
Mm.
that whom I knew, and luckily, they were available and they were down,
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
was like, all right,
Able to
let's
save
do
them.
it.
Okay.
Hmm.
All right. Yeah, so I mean, I take from that some like if you're aspiring director and you're making movies and even if you're in a student film, like you said, you the first time it happened, you know, well the second time it happened, you learned from the first time it happened. So sometimes it's just you might have to go through it,
Yeah.
and you can. I mean, because yeah, it's been several times. Like I've peeped the situation. Like all right, I've seen this before. We got to curve this before
Mm.
it gets too bad type of
Yeah.
thing. So yeah, I
Yeah.
got you. I got you.
Yeah. And then you also like as a first time director, people will be like, no, no, no. Well, it's gonna be you also had to think about like your project too. Your project is your baby as well. So it's
Mm,
like, what is gonna suffer? It's
yeah,
like, is your project gonna be able to survive what's happening on set?
yeah, yeah,
And will it be able to? Because sometimes like you watch some films, you can tell the chemistry like is off between talents,
yeah.
between two different actors and stuff because
Mm,
something may be going on set, and then you get in front of camera and it ain't there, it's not showing as
yeah,
far as like that chemistry that's supposed to be having and stuff, and it's like that could have been Now that could have been changed if you had actually, did something, so
Yeah. Just be
that's
aware.
just,
Don't be afraid either. I know
yeah,
don't be afraid to, like
you,
you said, it's your baby.
yep, you
Yeah.
can't be afraid.
Don't let nobody lay
It's
hands
your
on your
baby.
baby today. You
Yep.
got to go. So
Yep,
yeah.
exactly.
I mean, it's like
So,
now if you got, let's say you want to say you cast Denzel Washington and then he don't like you, but he gonna do your movie and stuff like that, and he's still doing good, and the project ain't suffering. I'm like, all right, he just gonna have to not like me. All right, Denzel, I'm gonna get that. All right, action. All right, do what you gotta do. Movie
yeah,
still good. All right, get me out.
pretty much, it's like, I'm like,
I guess
did that turn
project
out right?
putting the project first. I guess that's what it is.
Yeah,
So
yeah.